But what happened, later on traditions became very popular than the true teaching. So in each and every tradition, the true teaching was hidden. And these later developed teachings came into existence and became popular. Like in Theravada tradition, we still try our best to keep the original teachings popular. And even though we develop later traditions, we still make clear cut and keep it separately. When it comes to Mahayana tradition, still they do have these original teachings, but they don't emphasize on it, but they emphasize on later developed discourses, their own Mahayana sutras. When it comes to Vajrayana again, the same thing happens, but still all these traditions are maintaining the true essence of the Buddhism. In Theravada traditions, and it is given the freedom for the followers to follow any path that you want. The path leads to arahantship, or become a disciple, enlightened one, or the path that leads to become a supremely enlightened Buddha, or the path that leads to silent the Buddha. When it comes to Mahayana traditions, and they are emphasizing the path to perfect enlightened Buddhas, which is known as Bodhisattva path. Well, you may read a bit to understand these differences. We will not have time to go in detail. Now I'm going to pay attention how Buddhism became very famous or popular religion. Buddhism, at the very beginning, as I told you, it's a very simple, practical, logical path. Understanding, practice, and realization. That is Buddhism. So that's totally depend on the individuals to train ourselves. Once after these various traditions came into existence, and there was a competition between the traditions, and Buddhism has to compete with many other religions. Because some religions came and started to teach, well, just believe our God, and provided you will be born in the heaven. Whether you do good or whether you do bad, but finally what is taken into serious consideration is your belief. So believe our God, and salvation is guaranteed. So in this way, in India, Buddhism or various Buddhist groups, they had to face this challenge, especially with Hinduism and some other religions. Because Hinduism also emphasized the salvation through the God. So how to face this new challenge now? Then they have to come out with a solution for it. So the solution was introducing the popular religious concepts to Buddhism. For an example, in other religions, when they face miseries, calamities, problems in daily life, and they go to their God and ask the boons, they pray to their God. But Buddhism is a religion with understanding, practicing, and realization. It needs a lot of energy, it needs a lot of intelligence, it needs a lot of practice. So this path is not so easy in that sense. Well, but still we face the problems in life, so we need some solution for this. So they have to provide the opportunity for it. So popular religious concepts came into existence. So among the Buddhist traditions, various traditions, pantheon of deities came into existence. Even though we do not believe the Creator God, in Buddhism we accept the Devas. Devas are groups of divine beings, and they have got various kind of powers which can help in human beings when they are in need. So they introduce, well, when you are in need, you can ask the help from these divine beings as well as from the Bodhisattvas. So various kinds of devotional practices, pujas, chantings came into existence. There are other countries like in Sri Lanka. Some Hindu gods were introduced and the form of Buddhist gods. And then the devotees, they go to the Buddha and pay respect and learn the Dharma from monks and practice for the attainment of Nibbana. But when they have personal problems, they go to the God and ask the boon. When it comes to Thailand, they introduce four-faced Buddha. But where Buddha has got a four-face? So who is this four-faced Buddha then? Four-faced Buddha is the Mahabrahma. Mahabrahma is the Hindu god. So they adopted the Hindu god as the Buddha. Because we accept the concept of divine beings. We do not accept the creator god concept, but we accept the gods and many gods. So when it comes to Myanmar or Burma, what happened? They introduced Nath. They already having Naths, the local deities. Well, these local deities, they introduced again as Nath and Buddhist deities. So what happened? The devotees, they go to the temple, they did pujas and chanting or meritorious deeds. Then after that they share the merits with these deities and ask the boons in return. So in this way, Buddhism became a popular religion among the common people. Another aspect we can see when various traditions came into existence, Buddhism again embraced various kind of religions and various religious concepts was introduced into Buddhism. This happened in the process of assimilations between the other religions. Many religions spread in the world with the power of the war. They conquered the foreign lands, and for those people who were conquered, they were given two choices. One choice, you can be converted to our religion and enjoy the peace, success, and prosperity. Become part of our religion. The other option, if you do not, then executed. So there were religions. They spread in the world with the power of the war. Having conquered the other foreign land, they force you to be converted or to be killed or chased away from the land or whatever else. But Buddhism is spread in the world in a peaceful way. In its history of 2,500 years, not a single drop of blood was shed in the name of the Buddhism in its propagation. Understand this very clearly. It does not mean Buddhist kings did not have the war, or Buddhists did not have the war, or Buddhists did not shed the blood. But I am trying to tell you very clearly one aspect here. In the name of Buddhism, for its progress or propagating in the world, they did not conquer the land and force the people to be converted. So in this respect, we are still very clean and clear. So when Buddhism is spread into the world, what happens? When Buddhism is spread into the foreign land, Buddhism embraced the other religions. And it is spread in a very peaceful way and observe the policy that let the others to survive and let ourselves to survive. In this way, they mingle with the other religions, merge with the other religions. When Buddhism is spread into China, at the very beginning, those religions like Taoism and Confucianism, and they resisted. But after a period of time, they understood the value of the Buddha's teachings, and these religions merged together. And then came many temples dedicated to three teachers, Buddha, Lao Tzu, and Confucius. When Buddhism is spread into Korea, what happened? And there was having the religion of Shamanism. So Shamanism is a religion that worships spirits and deities of the mountains and the skies. But Buddhists, you already have devas. So when Buddhism spread into Korea, what happened? This Deva concept, the God concept, the deities, and they embraced this shamanism. So in this way, it merged with Buddhism and came out Korean Buddhism, so different flavor. When it spread into Japan, what happened? Japanese were believing in kamis, powerful spirits, kamis. Well, again in Buddhism we have devas, they are equal, similar type of beings. So they easily embrace it. So the kamis were converted to become Buddhists. And the Japanese people embraced the Buddhism. But still they maintain their kamis. Koreans still they maintain their mountain gods and deities and spirits. So the Japanese Buddhism is a mix again Buddhism, Mahan Buddhism, and again this kami concept. So it is a friends, when Buddhism is spread in foreign land, it is spread in a very peaceful way. It embraces those religious practices. When Buddhism is spread into Sri Lanka, what happened at that time? In Sri Lanka, people are worshipping the trees and the mountains. Well, those monks went to Sri Lanka, having introduced the Buddhism, and said, well, if you want to worship the tree, we have again the best of the tree, which is the Bodhi tree, where the Buddha achieved enlightenment. So they introduced the Bodhi tree to Sri Lanka, and not only that, they brought the sapling from the original tree and planted over there. This tree was not introduced to Myanmar or Thailand or any other part. Because that time, in Sri Lanka, people were so much into the worshipping the trees. So they easily embrace. So Buddhism is spread in a skillful means, through very efficient way, in a very peaceful way, and in non-violent way. So that is what friends, in various Buddhist traditions you can see various practices which are very colorful, look like different from each other. But even though you see superficial levels in this way, but inner essence is the same essence. The inner teaching, deep teachings of the Buddha, Four Noble Truths, dependent origination, three characteristics of nature, karma and rebirth, and all these are the same teachings that all the traditions share and we agree upon. So what we see, the differences of the colors and the differences of the robes and rites and rituals and devotional practice, way of chanting, the languages, and the simple ceremonies. These are the differences. These are not big issues. So even though we have got various traditions, we are still going together, moving together to same direction, which is the enlightenment. I think this much is enough as a talk. So maybe we'll open this session for Q&A, and if you have got anything, then we can clarify.